Desert Mermaid, stranded on the sands of sin and smoke here in shiny Las Vegas. And yes, I do miss my home, the Pacific Ocean. But my cosmic self has sent me down here on a mission to awaken and empower all of you. So stay tuned and savor the brew. Now let's power up.
Hi out there, everybody out there in the Matrix, struggling along. This is Carole, Michaella, Desert Mermaid, and I'm just so transformed. I started out this year, 2014, with a shamanic journey, and it was a solo shamanic journey up in Red Rock, and I wanted to start it the night before, New Year's Eve, so that I'd be there for the beginning of 2014. But as it turned out, everything, I was destined to be there at the exact time that I did this journey. And it was a moonless night, which is a night where you can manifest things. Best time to manifest things. So first, I didn't realize it, but January 1st, actually, the first was actually a moonless night. And then I had hiked in about 2 miles in, and I was sitting on beautiful red rocks looking to the right at a sunset, and eventually to the left at the city of Las Vegas. And I looked at my cell phone, and the journey began at exactly 4:44 p.m., which is the angel number, 444. And this number usually asks that you pay attention to your intuition and inner wisdom, as your connection with your angels and the angelic realm is very strong at this time. You're encouraged to continue on your current path as your drive and determination will lead to success and fulfillment. So it was a very powerful number. And the other thing is the angel number 444 is a message that the angels and archangels are with you. So this was an amazing time, this 444, for me to begin this journey. And it also says that the angels are offering you positive energies, inner strength, and support to enable you to get the work done that you need to. And they know and understand that you've been toiling diligently towards your goals and encourage you to continue on your current path to achieve the success and results you desire. And this was all sort of, this began centering around my mission and what I am going to be, not hoping, it's sort of a negative word, but what I will be creating. And it seems that it should be this year. I believe 2014 is a very powerful year in a very positive way for the light workers here. And I learned a lot about Las Vegas from this shamanic journey. That's why I was sitting on that amazing, beautiful red rock and looking off to the right at the sunset and away from the city, Red Rock Canyon, and then off to the left, I would keep peering out at the city, and from the distance, in this moonless night, it was so amazing because it looked like this evil city. It looked like an alien planet's evil city. It was just like all red and red lights and planes flying around, and which looked like all kinds of weird aircraft all around. Could have been a futuristic planet, as I said, like an alien slave planet or something. That's the energy I was getting. And then, as usual, on this shamanic journey, I always ask, who am I? Who am I? And the last time and this time, they said, you are the divine matrix. And as the last journey that I had up there in Red Rock Canyon, they said, do you accept this? Because this is both good and evil. And I said, yes, of course, because I know good and evil are both polar opposites and are necessary for learning in lower dimensions and what have you. So I know that, you have to, when you're in the third dimension, you have to embrace it all. And actually in higher dimensions, but the positive, the light is a lot stronger than the dark in the higher frequencies as you're up in other dimensions and other planets and what have you. So anyway, but during this journey, I felt like this amazing shaman woman, just like really powerful. I began by chanting this very powerful chant, It's a Buddhist chant that I've been doing mostly like for the last few decades, and pretty powerful chant that at times I stopped kind of just to see what would happen and what have you, and because I thought, well, am I just doing it because I'm afraid not to? So I had to see what it felt like. Well, you build up a lot of amazing you kind of get rid of a lot of your karma when you're in this chant, because sound is so powerful. Sound is what creates universes. Sound is it's frequency, and it creates. It's creative. It's a creative energy. And so this particular chant, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, supposedly brought to the planet by a ninth dimensional being, as told to me by a gentleman named Pablo. And so this amazing chant is what I began this journey with. And I felt like the whole world was just rumbling around me, and I was just in control of it. And I watched this beautiful sunset, and it was just incredible. And then again, I became all these different, I don't want to say entities, but beings that have been on the planet. Buddha, I felt like I was Buddha. But then when I got to feeling like I was Jesus, I was like, oh no, I can't take that suffering. So I stopped changing from, and I almost got the feeling that all of us sort of experience these types of beings that we become, not necessarily Buddha himself or Jesus or whatever, but perhaps we do take on some journeys that are, very, very, very stressful or very enlightening or very, powerful. And then there are times when we're just very anonymous and very quiet and in servitude and what have you. So we take on these different journeys. So that was the message I got from that. And then again, I would look over at Las Vegas. I actually took some notes, because the deal is I wanted to record this, because I thought it would be so awesome if I could go back and try to remember everything. And so my phone, even though I had charged it up completely, as last time, it was shut down. And I don't know why, but I feel like I'm not supposed to have that phone on, because I feel like I'm not supposed to be tracked while I'm on these beautiful meditative shamanic journeys. And that's what they're telling me, my brothers and sisters in spirit and what have you. So it always shuts down, or it did, at least as I can remember the last time, maybe even the time before. But anyway, so all these beautiful colors, and then I realized, oh my gosh, it's going to be super dark. There's no moon, but again, off to the left, I kept looking over Las Vegas, and then I'd look up at the sky, and I knew I was there in that specific spot for some reason, but the stars were twinkling, and the other thing was that a lot of times when I do these journeys, I cry a lot, because it's like a release of all these emotions, and it's such a cleansing, cathartic thing to do, and you release a lot of things that you have hidden, stored in your body, and all your atoms and molecules and what have you. So, but anyway, I saw the beautiful geometry of everything, and I felt like the star beings were watching me, and then then I shifted back and forth thinking about off-worlders and my mission here and what have you, and then I would look at like the helicopters that are always flying around. I've even seen some black helicopters, just like black helicopters, and thinking that I just felt like they were watching me or something. And but I think they have a base out there. But then there's always the helicopters that are like searching around around the rocks, the mountains of red rock. One of them was shining a light on me, and I just sat in my pose, my yoga pose, whatever. Meditative pose, and I don't know, I guess they're just looking for people that might have fallen or whatever, but it just always seems strange. They're always especially looking in this one area, but that could be the reason. And so I began to ask questions, for different people and what have you. And I was right at the beginning. I wasn't getting any answers, and I just knew the timing wasn't right. And then I started getting answers. So I started asking more and more questions, and then I looked up at the stars again, and I had this, I was getting this information like. The reason why you have to be like out in Red Rock to do these journeys is because even being out there, there's all these frequencies. And I looked up and I saw this like net. It looked like a freaking net over a frequency net over everywhere, and I just felt like that's why it's so hard, I think, especially for light workers. There's this negative frequency coming in that's controlling us and keeping us in this low frequency. And it's very difficult. And a lot of light workers, I think that's why they get depressed. And when I say light workers or, seed children or whatever you call them, star children, star seeds, I think, because we are so sensitive and what have you, that it's very difficult for us here. And a lot of us have committed suicide or whatever, not been able to continue the mission because it is very difficult. It is depressing. And so I saw that net over us. And then I realized, I was getting all these messages like the universe is based on light, and what's so amazing about Las Vegas is it reflects this and does so more than any other city on the planet. So that's why there's so much attention around the world on Las Vegas, because, this light is always fascinating to all of us. And Las Vegas' lights, I'm sure the ETs are always looking down. Wow, that one city is, really lit up. I wonder what's going on down there. But that's why the lightweight workers are here. It's a great place for a light worker revolution, and it's home to many. Because I was thinking again, about the negativity of it, and that perhaps we're here to balance it out. But it wasn't only that. It was, this place. The other thing that's amazing about this place is there's so many entertainers, and entertainers are sort of light workers anyway. They're coming from the right side of their brain. A lot of them, they are more open to ideas and things. They're not living in such a closed box, and this is a great place for them because they have a place to actually perform, where they can make a living, and it's just so amazing to come and see what man can accomplish through the arts, how amazing people are. When I look at the dancers now compared to, when I started out or whatever, they had some great dancers. Don't get me wrong. In the old days, looking back at the old movies and have you, but look what all the fusion. And I used to. Well, I was trained in all these different styles of dance. Flamenco, Polynesian, belly dancing, tap. We called it acrobatic. That wasn't gymnastics back then. Musical theater, classical ballet, modern ballet, contemporary, African. I've done all the dances of all the dances in Europe, all the various country dances. My mother used to teach the waltz clog and this and that and this and that from all around. And so with that background, and then I took karate, so that made me really strong. To Taekwondo, Korean style, and this was when women never took any kind of karate and all that. And I remember when I was trying to become a PSA stewardess, and when you are a PSA stewardess, Pacific Southwest Airlines, basically, you got picked for your looks totally, and your body, and your personality, because you had to be able to talk to all these businessmen going up and down California and all the movie stars and what have you. And we wore these little mini skirts with hats on the side and go-go boots and what have you. But anyway, so basically, gosh, I forgot where I was taking all that. But the whole thing is that, getting back to the lights in the city and all that, Las Vegas is just so amazing, and it's just, that's, people get drawn to it, and this is a great place to have a revolution. and it's home to many, many, many entertainers, as I was saying, and they're open-minded. And so the brain that creates, that is this place where we all access consciousness. That's the right side of the brain, and the more open-minded side of the brain. And I guess, there's quite a balance here in Vegas with what I'm trying to say. And so it became to me, it started out evil, and then it came to me that it wasn't evil at all. But anyway, I realized, again, I really want to create these mass meditations, and I saw this fantastic production, and I saw the people that are working with me and everything, and I'm not going to say any more about it. I just know that I was born to do this, and once it starts here, I'd love to see it go around the world, but it's a meditation that we would use all of the energy and the power of many, many people meditating at one time with frequency and all that. So, and also, with entertainers, multimedia and all that. And just, I don't even want to say any more, but the other things that I saw that I need to do is create a women's power group that will help each other. I want to create a mastermind group. We're going to be doing, in my group, Accessing Consciousness, we're going to be doing this mastermind group, and I'm going to invite people out of that, the ones that I really feel have a lot to offer, or any other people that I would just invite into the specific mastermind group that could help each other. I also would like a young starseed group in that it would be run by a young woman, and I would be hosting it, but, somewhere where the young people can come and talk about their place and how they feel about society, and they're trying to fit in and what have you. So, there's just so much more, but some of it is sort of personal and what have you, and personal for other people too. I received amazing information from my own star kids, and but one of the things I wanted to talk about also was something I was discussing at, I have this amazing group, Accessing Consciousness, Meditate to Create and Manifest. And we also have the meditation group of Las Vegas. But on Tuesday it's more of a production, and we dress up and have fun, and it's just really a lovely gathering, and different people and different things, and I get to try things out on everybody, and they're my guinea pigs. But I've been doing this for 2 years now. But on Thursday, we've just kind of started that, and it's a new kind of laid-back group, and not too many things. I kind of want to keep it open and let the energy of the people take it wherever it's going to go. Sometimes I do readings through the oracle or whatever, and or angel cards and what have you. So, or like I will be this week having someone doing a wonderful visioning game. Not a game. It's really powerful. Collective visioning is what it's called, and so we'll be doing that this Thursday, and then the following Thursday will be like the first mastermind group with Colin Mole. I'm sorry. So anyway, but last Thursday, this is what I was talking about, is sort of my idea about why we're here on the planet, and how we get here and what we do before we get here. But it's called the 3D game of life. And my question is it just a game, or perhaps an advanced system for developing our souls? And it could be sort of both, but I do know that only the most bravest souls matriculate into the system to help others, as do, either to help others or to advance themselves on a spiritual path so they can move up into higher frequencies. And then they get trapped sort of in a coming back over and over with karma. But there are others of us that are kind of like these helpers that come down. We decide that's what we like to do, is to help beings on these planets that are very low frequency, low energy. And we're kind of like special operations Navy SEALs or the Army Rangers or something. We're very advanced souls, and both of those units, the ones I just mentioned, the Navy SEALs or the Army Rangers, as I compare ourselves to them, they operate on a need-to-know basis, so they they really don't know much, just like we don't. When we come here, we don't know a thing. We've got amnesia, right? And, of course, these other guys that go out on these missions on the Earth here, they have secrecy is required for many of their operations, and to execute the covert operations that they are at the core of in their missions. And both of these units must undergo strenuous training, and both officer corps selection processes are highly selective, involving solid academic and physical training marks. Well, as with high-level beings that come here to help the planet, one of the things they have to do is to actually not just sign up to help, during a time like this where we're shifting into a new paradigm, or trying to at least, battling the forces of evil and what have you, but we're also working on just really, helping people move forward using their own devices as much as we can. But we're here just to kind of help them along. And we have to come back over and over and over. We have to be a person, a human, several incarnations to really know and understand what humans are going through. And so in a sense we're kind of like these special operations guys that we call the Navy SEALs or the Army Rangers here. And then I feel that each one of us who is a light worker has heard the call, and we've signed up here to help these young souls who are transmigrating through the 3D dimension. Each light worker, or as I'm called, a way shower, must go through a series of lifetimes whereby each one of us must pass through several tests during each lifetime. And if we can make it through the series, then, without like committing suicide, then, we come back and we're here at this part of this major operation that we're on right now, this amazing time, around 2012. But the mission we're on, 2012 through 2018, but the mission we're on is to help alleviate the control system that has been in place for thousands of years. So each lifetime, with the help of our guides and higher self, we actually design ourselves for this game before we come onto the earth plane. And when we design ourselves, we decide which motors, which sensors should be turned on, and those sensors that it would best serve us to be like open and not turned on. And that probably won't make much sense to anybody that hasn't had a human design life chart done. But once you find out, like if you ever did have a human design life chart done for you, then you would understand that some of us come in with various centers running, like, raring to go, and other centers that are on our body we would just not have so much strength there. And those are what kind of define what we're going to do in our life. So things are turned on and things are turned off. But we decide before we come here, what kind of person we're going to be, what type of person we're going to be. There's 4 different types: generator, reflector, manifesting generator, reflector, and I forgot the 4th one. I'll think about it in a second. But anyway, we also keep a similar appearance with some specific changes due to genetics of the parents we have chosen for each lifetime. So although family may stay connected to us in each lifetime, taking on different relationships as, with parents or siblings or distant relatives or friends, in order to kind of work out the karma we've created. So if you have a problem, like I've got a girlfriend, and she and her sister have fought their whole life, and it's even gotten worse now that the father and the mother have passed on, and there's some money to divvy up between 5 of them. But that one daughter is her true self came out, and she was like the bad seed of the family or whatever. But unfortunately, if this other girl cannot, just completely forgive her and somehow release her and send her love, if she cannot do that, she's going to have to come back and go through this whole thing in another situation with that sister of hers, perhaps as her lover or as her father or mother or maybe her sister again. So anyway, many times our talents and abilities come with us into a new lifetime, mainly those passions and talents that have given us great joy in other incarnations. And I know that I came in with dance. I always knew that I was an ice skater in some lifetime, because as a professional dancer, or just a dancer, starting dance at the young age of 4 in Ireland, well, not at that young age, but older, when I started learning how to turn, I started doing these turns that ice skaters do, and I felt like I know I can do this on land. And I would try all these amazing turns that you see ice skaters do, and I would keep trying, and I always, I knew the turns and they felt right and everything, but it was very difficult to get the spin that you get when you're on ice. So when I was told I'd been an ice skater, it really made sense to me. And also, I always related to gypsies dancing, and then recently I was told that I was a beautiful, powerful gypsy in a lifetime. So I thought, oh my God, I could totally feel that. And this is a person that had never seen me dance or whatever, but that's how I dance. I dance like a gypsy. And it's fun. It's fun. And I love dancing around fires with drums and stuff. But anyway, the other thing is that we agree that once we are in this game, we will go into it with complete amnesia, which we said before, so that we are completely immersed in the game, and that we are subject to all karma created while we are here. That's unfortunately, that is the fine print which we we didn't notice, I think, is that we have to keep coming back when we create karma. And we've signed the contract, but I think that fine print was very little, like 0.05 or something. Because, to know that you would have to come over and over and over and over, that's a tough thing. But anyway, especially to this dimension. Our higher self, it's either our higher self or else there are those guides out there and those angels and what have you, but we are given 2 of them who will watch over us and support us from the other side while we're here on this plane. And some of us have access to an army of supporters on the other side if need be. And those are for people that are on big missions and, probably, perhaps, those people that are living in a dangerous situation and they need to stay on the planet till they finish their mission or whatever, But I know that that's true. We also decide what tools, what ammunition that we should bring with us to help us on this mission here on the Earth. Just like, a game that we would play on the Internet, like, Warcraft or Diablo, games like that. You get to pick your character, what that character looks like and how the feeling of that character. You get to pick out the tools and the ammunition or whatever, as much as you can to help you on your mission. And so I was told, and I already knew this, that, my Buddhist practice is my tool. It's a powerful chant that I was talking about, the Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, that I began my journey on. And this powerful tool is what I use to move myself forward at a faster speed, because that chant just draws things into your life that you need. And then when you have problems, use that chant to break through, the karma of these problems or what have you. For instance, I've had problems with some people, and so instead of thinking about how horrible they were treating me and what have you, I was chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, sending them love and happiness and forgiveness. And, at the beginning it's very hard, but then when you see some changes taking place within those people and that you're getting along a lot better and what have you, then you realize, and then sometimes you realize you got to keep doing some more of it because it worked for a while, and then you got to just keep doing it to keep things going nicely and smoothly for you. If you have trouble with somebody who's a tough nut to crack. But anyway, so that's what I came in with. And other people have other religions or mantras they do, or they feel more associated with the Hindu religion, or maybe they just like they just love yoga and they meditate afterwards, or or different thing. Everyone has their different things that they use, and then as you kind of do that to the point where now you're ready to move on, you move up into a different maybe frequency and start doing something on a different level. It just depends on where you are on the journey. So anyway, we also give ourselves ahead of time challenges or situations and obstacles that we must overcome, like kind of like an obstacle course. So the thing is about these obstacles and what have you is, can we still vibrate in the love frequency during and after these trials, or do they make us bitter and revengeful? And a lot of us know these people that these old people that are, I say old people, but these old people that are just like really hateful and revengeful and just miserable, have a terrible look on their face because they think it's because life has screwed them over. Well, life can screw everybody over if you allow it to, but you have to always keep coming back positive and beautiful and forgiving. Those are the people that advance on. The other ones have to keep coming back until they get it. If you're bitter and what have you, you're not winning the game. You're already losing it until you change, and you're ready to change, and you have to be ready. But the other thing that's interesting is, I do believe in the power of manifestation and being able to manifest things, but I also do believe that, there's certain challenges that we give ourselves that we know that we've got to overcome those. That's like one of the things that we have to do here. And we set ourselves up with these for some reason. Now, because I don't really believe everyone can be an Oprah if they just are thinking positive. I think that, that was her mission. She's, I believe, a modern-day prophet for sure, and or oracle or whatever you want to call her. But she was destined to be who she is. She's probably had, like the rest of us, a lot of lives in poverty and misery and what have you. We all get to try all of it. We all get to be kings and queens and slaves and what have you, I believe. And so that was, and there are other people that just would never be able to do that, perhaps because they would not hook up with the right person and what have you, because they're supposed to be on a different mission doing something else. But you can manifest in ways that will enhance and make things a lot nicer for you, I believe. And maybe, if you clean up your karma, maybe you can really actually access everything you want. So, we're all here learning this thing. But anyway, but we do give ourselves missions and or goals to attain during each specific lifetime. So our mission, for some of us who feel that we're not from the planet, our mission is to help the people here in various ways. I feel like I'm the first wave. There are what we call 3 waves of light workers that have come. The first set is the way showers, and they had the hardest time, supposedly, because there wasn't anybody else around for hundreds of miles that would relate to them, first of all. Second of all, they have these feelings of knowing that, wait a minute, everything around me is bullshit. And so why am I the only one that thinks this way? I don't know. This is very strange. Even at 4 years of age, I'm listening to all this spiel that I'm getting from the religion, and it does not resonate at all with me. It's very negative. It's very ego-centered. Geez, the only thing was I liked the messages of Jesus, but then when I saw the nuns, the Catholic nuns, hitting kids and dragging them around by their hair and smacking their face and everything, I wondered what happened to what Jesus said. But anyway, so but we do give ourselves missions and goals to attain, and by golly, I know for sure, like, I have to attain that mission. And it is really important because I am going to be PO'd if I get to the other side and I haven't accomplished it. So I cannot get to the other side till I've done whatever it is, and I've got amnesia just like the rest of us, but whatever it feels that I'm supposed to be doing to help change things on this planet. So And of course, I guess the most important, and this is the last one, is we must not take ourselves off the planet until each life mission is complete. We have acknowledged this, acknowledged that this is part of the game plan. So if you take yourself off because it is too difficult, the thing is that you don't realize you've got to come back and do it all over again, or at least this lifetime. And who wants to do that? I don't want to ever be a pubescent teenager ever again, or anything like close to that. Just glad that's over with. But so anyway, I really feel that this is what I call the 3D game of life, and it's many scientists and what have you are now believing, of course, that the universe is a hologram. And it's, everything is frequency and energy anyway, so that makes a lot of sense. And that we're holograms, basically. And again, that's, when people talk about shape-shifting and all that, and they're like, oh, that could never happen. But think about it. We're just frequencies. All we have to do is change frequencies, and then who knows what we look like in another frequency, or who knows, standing there watching somebody that is of another frequency, and somehow they are able to become have a different look in this frequency. I mean, I think that as science comes along and we have more things that have changed on the planet and moved forward technologically, we'll realize how this kind of stuff is not that strange, So anyway, I can't tell you how amazing that shamanic experience was. And then I started walking back, and on the moonless night, and my light went out, and it was like there was sort of a light in front of me anyway, and I could see the pathway, and I walked those 2 miles back with the only light that was helping me was really a little bit from the city. But it was beautiful and amazing, and to me, it's such a spiritual journey, and I always learn so much each time. And I'm trying to remember, because one time, it was reminding me also about how I was taught during another shamanic journey, how I was taught to go down into my heart, and I could see this beautiful geometric design of my heart, and it was so gorgeous. It was rose and gold and glowing in these beautiful, intricate, filigree designs. And I went down into my heart, and that's where you go. You've got to go right down into the heart. And the ancients talk about this little place, this sacred place in the heart. It's actually the seat of the soul. And I was reminded to go in there and then look off to the right, and that is where I now have found that when you look off to the left, you start thinking about things from the past. Or let's put it this way. When you start thinking about things from the past, you're kind of looking off to the left. Even your eyes go up to the left. And when you're looking to the right, sort of reality forming in the future, or you're thinking about the future, I should say. So that's why I feel that I was, I'm kind of guided to look off to my right, and then I start, whatever it is I want to manifest, I start seeing this beautiful geometry all in gold, just kind of building like plate by plate by plate on top of each other, each atomic sheet being structured one on top of the other, all in beautiful geometric designs, all the way up to the very top. And I'm, of course, as I'm, manifesting whatever it is that I'm manifesting, I'm seeing it come into view in the 3D reality after being in the geometric design shape. And so this is how I found that it works really good for manifesting. And because inside the brain there are 4 glands that have to be activated simultaneously. It can only be done when the spirit of the body leaves the brain. And that's so amazing, because when I was young and I was taking Silva Mind Control, I found that I was actually doing this on my own without realizing it. I felt like I was going deep into a dark place, and I was getting, the essence of who I am was getting smaller and smaller and smaller and darker. It was getting darker and darker, and I was going down into my body, but I knew I was like right in the center of my chest, and that's where the sacred place of the heart is. And this was talked about in India 6,000 years ago, but the spirit then goes backward from there up to the brain, and it does this by going through the tip of the tongue. So you have to try and keep the tip of the tongue at the roof of the mouth. But the energy then goes up to the thalamus gland, and if you're doing this right, you get an alpha state in 4 quadrants of the brain. I think I did that once or two times. And if you do this long enough and it is strong enough, then the pineal gland, and I have had this happen, sends out energy out towards the pituitary gland. And when the alpha is fired up high enough, what appears is a greenish color, and then a spiral occurs, and then another one, and then around your head there appears 8 beams of light, which then will appear as a sphere around your head. Well, I don't know if all of that was happening, but I will tell you that I have felt this rush of energy that went from the pineal gland, and it went to the pituitary gland, and it was like a shot of energy, and it was, oh my God, it was such a good feeling. It was like, I felt like laughing deep in my stomach, and it felt all bubbly and full of like just fizzy, bubbly energy. And it was the best feeling, and I felt like laughing, and I actually did laugh, and then I would know, I would know that whatever I had just been thinking about was totally manifested. So, and so what you've been dreaming about becomes real, and it's real. So, Dr. James Hart and other researchers have been studying this and have proved and tested scientifically the process of using this method to create. And there are others who talk about creating with the heart, or use the emotions of the heart, the same love that some mothers have for their children, the I will die for you kind of love. So, but anyway, so that's why I'm just reminding you something that I was reminded on that journey is when you, or if you want to manifest, go down into your heart first as you meditate, or meditate and get to a deep place, and then bring yourself down into your heart. And then after you've been sitting there in a deep meditation, then feel yourself rising up into your head, and feel the energy just going from the back of the head and hitting the pituitary gland, and just feel happiness, extreme happiness that you're going to manifest whatever it is you're thinking about. So anyway, I know we're getting close to the end of this discussion, and I think it's so cool. I love it when I'm just sort of letting it all flow, and because I really feel that I'm sending out information that needs to go out at that moment in time to whoever's picking it up. It's probably something you needed to hear, I hope. Especially if you're here in Las Vegas and you wonder why you're here. So you're here because this is the place where everything is going to start from, I'm not kidding, and it's going to go out across the United States. And then I think it's going to go around the world, and it's going to be awesome. And I feel a lot of changes, good ones, for 2014 and 2015, and I haven't felt that kind of positivity for a long time, but for some reason I'm feeling that now, and so I'm letting you all know that let's all, don't just sit on your butts though and just sit there and meditate unless that's what you're supposed to do. Perhaps some of you are here for just that, sending out the good positive energy. But if there's things you can do to help, even things to sign on Facebook or whatever, or go out and rally, whatever it is, do some active things that will help change the planet too. Grow some plants, some food in your backyard. I mean, whatever it is, do things, anything that is of a positive nature, and start moving forward little by little. And let's change the paradigm, all of us. For those of you in Las Vegas, hope to see you at our Accessing Consciousness, Meditate to Create and Manifest meetup group on Tuesdays for a regular Tuesday nights. Thursday is a chill-out sort of meditation night, and this week, of course, we will be doing our collective visioning, and then the following week, our mastermind group, But this Tuesday is Pleiadian, beautiful goddesses, ladies who have connected with the divine or spirit or the Pleiadians, ETs, angels. There's 5 of them, and so please come out and listen. It's going to be very interesting, awesome meditation. We're going to fire up our beautiful, our swirly, beautiful vortex. We're bringing that back with crystals and what have you. And please check me out on my website at www.carole, C-A-R-O-L-E, Michaella, MICHAELLA.com, the Desert Mermaid of Las Vegas. And love to you all, and I just want you all to remember, send out love and light to the whistleblowers on the planet, those that you don't even know about, because there's so many people working behind the scenes in the upper echelon, those light workers that are in the right places, that are moving into the right places right now. They are moving right now. So please, if you're not doing it and you're not one of them, send out love and light to all of them. They're the ones that we have to charge up. And that's what we do on Tuesday. We charge up the planet, we charge up the animals, we charge up the plants, and we send out love and light to those people that are making major changes on the planet right now. Start with yourself. Fire yourself up like a sun from your heart center out and send it out to the entire planet. Love and light to all of you. Good night.